Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Man Behind Ministry podcast. As always, I'm your host, Minister Ryan Smith of the Virgin Street Church right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Listen, y'all, we know we do this every Thursday. If you've been tuning in with us every week, we do this every Thursday at 7 p.m. around this time. But today I've learned following different creators, man, I've learned to celebrate the small victories and the small milestones that you make. So this tonight's episode is special for one or two reasons. Number one, this is episode 10 of the Man Behind Ministry podcast. And we're just so blessed to have just the support and have everybody tuning in, supporting the show. So it's been a fun ride. It's been a fun journey. And we've got so much more in store for the show. Not only is this episode number 10, but tonight, March the 9th, 2023, tonight is my 35th birthday. And so just being transparent, I thought about not doing the show tonight, but hey, why not share? Why not share this night with everybody? And so ministry is a part of my life. It's what I do. And so I was talking to my boy and our guest tonight. We thought, hey, we're going to share this moment. We're going to share this moment with YouTube. So appreciate y'all who've shown the love and support today. Didn't have time to get to everybody, but I just thank you for the love and support. It really means a lot today. With all that being said, tonight's guest is a very, very good friend of mine, but I don't just call him a friend, but I call him a brother. Someone defined a friend in this way, and it's someone who knows your faults and they still love you anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's guest is someone that I call a friend, but I also call him a brother, and that is the minister and pastor to the Rose City Community Church of Christ in Little Rock, Arkansas. So we're not going to waste no more time, y'all. If y'all know Andrew, you know we're going to have a good time tonight. Let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. Let's go. Bro, what's good, bro? How you doing?
Bro, I am good, man. How are you?
Man, I'm doing well. Just trying to make it. Uh,
Yeah,
I'm just excited about this new year that we're in, man. Just definitely glad to have you come in and be a part of this thing, man.
I am, man, I am beyond excited. Um, when you were first talking about it, I thought how amazing it was going to be when it finally came together, and to see what you've been doing, to watch the journey and
Hmm.
see everything come together has been absolutely amazing. I'm glad you decided to have me on tonight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You ready to go and jump into this, man?
Man, let's do it.
Yeah, yeah,
Let's
yeah,
do it.
yeah, man. Most people pastor, but those
Thank
of us who
you.
know you personally, man, you're a great person, man. And so most people only see us in clergy attire. Man, they see us in the suits, man. Like this is uncommon to see you outside of a suit. You know what I mean? To see you lacking a collar around your neck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Doc. Yeah. This is all out of my element. I don't do this often.
Yes, sir. And again, if you ain't caught it by now, those of us on the show, you're getting something that rarely happens. So this is why we're having this medium to kind of get us outside of this, right? So again, most people see us in our clergy attire, man. So behind all this, behind all the ministry, man, what are some hobbies and interests that Andrew is interested in?
Woo! Uh, man, I really like to sleep.
Man,
When I
man.
listen, I love my downtime. I love resting. Um, and you remember when I lived in Tulsa, Tuesday, that was movie day, Doc.
Mm-hmm.
I would go
Matinee.
catch a movie. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Leave that office and man, we catch that $5, $6 movie. Good to
Mm-hmm.
go. I enjoy good restaurants. I was telling someone the other day that I'm looking forward to building a house one day and having it on
Yeah.
some land. And that way I can ride four wheelers, enjoy sitting by the lake, all that stuff. Contrary to popular belief, I actually enjoy the outdoors.
Okay.
I'm a country boy at heart.
You are from
And
Alabama?
most people, yes, sir. Montgomery, Alabama. Grew up in Wetumpka, in the red clay dirt of Alabama. Crazy thing. When I was growing up as a kid, I would go play in the woods
Okay.
with my little friends in the neighborhood, and there was actually a cotton field in our neighborhood still, and so I literally picked cotton sometimes as a kid, not because I was forced to, but because it was just there.
Yeah.
And so I've had that experience of picking cotton and watching cotton be picked, being harvested, cornfields, and all of that stuff. So I enjoy the outdoors. Man, I just really enjoy relaxing.
Yeah.
With the type of life that I live, I'm always on the go. And so it's rare that I get a moment to myself. But when I do, I really enjoy just sitting back, relaxing, vibing to some good music, watching some dumb humor on TV. That's it, man.
Yeah.
Enjoying good people, of course. You know that. You know how we do when we get together.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Laugh, joke, talk about church.
Yeah.
Watch more church, because I am a church boy.
Come on now. Come on.
You can't take that from me.
Never. It doesn't matter. You take off the collar and the suit, but
yes,
you're gonna be a church boy regardless, man.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? Even in my downtime, like when I'm going to Walmart or something like that, not in a suit, in some sweats, the first thing, are you a pastor?
Yeah,
no.
Can't hide it.
Yes, I am.
Cannot hide it, man. Cannot hide it. Definitely, like you always talked about, when we get together, man, we just, build that relationship, man. And that's one thing I've come to know about you over the years, of just our friendship, of our brotherhood, man. You really cherish and cultivate authentic relationships, man. Why is that? Kind of tell us about just that, because everyone doesn't do that. Everyone is not good at that. But one thing I've noticed about you, just our time as friends and brothers, I can tell you really value authentic and genuine relationships.
How do I want to say it, man? Real is rare.
I like that.
Real is rare. I really appreciate genuine relationships. People that can see you at your worst, see you at your down place, and still love you. No judgment. I cherish that.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know it, but I had a pretty decent growing up period. But there was a lot in my past that I kind of felt alone, and I felt like a lot of people weren't genuine, and it hurt me. And so as I've gotten older and I've built my own relationships, one of the things that I've tried to do is be to other people what I wished I would have had growing up.
Yeah.
And if nothing else, I can be real. And so if I can be a real person to them, if I can be a safe space for them, if I can be that go-to person for them, I feel like that's what God would want from me.
Right.
And I feel like I could perhaps make their load a little bit easier. To know that someone is there and they genuinely care for you.
Right.
I think that makes the world go around a little bit better. It makes our world a better place. And so for me, I've tried to be for others what I've needed. That's just real, just authentic. And also showing people it's okay to be yourself.
Yeah.
So many times I think we feel like we have to pretend, we have to be someone else. But to know that I can accept you simply for being you, for being whoever you are, no judgment zone. That's what we need.
Yeah, I was talking with another minister, and he made a good point. He said a mentor told him, every person, but talk about ministers, right? Every minister needs at least one person that you can talk to about anything, no judgment, no preconceived notion, just unfiltered, and they're gonna love you. You know what I'm saying? I think that's important, because I referenced before that, man, it was a study that was done from a congregation, and they conducted a survey. And one of the results of that survey was that 70% of ministers said, one, either they feel alone or they don't feel like they have someone they can trust with personal matters. That's troubling, man. That's troubling.
Very.
When you consider how much people trust us to feed them, spiritually and minister to them and pastor them, and the fact that that's not always reciprocated or we don't feel like it, that's troubling.
And Ryan, do you remember, this was probably back in 17,
Okay.
when Crenshaw was sick, and when no, was it 7? No, it was 16. When Crenshaw got sick, and it was becoming more evident.
Yeah.
And we all came to Oklahoma City to have that prayer vigil for him.
Right. Yep.
And one of the things that he said was that he had to apologize because he was used to being that go-to person for everyone else. But he admitted we are a hard family to minister to.
Yeah.
Because we're not used to letting people in. We're not used to letting people do for us. We're so used to doing for other people.
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is, man, I realized that everybody can't handle that load with us.
Yeah, that's right.
Everyone can't carry that load. And one of the things that I've been saying lately, if you're going to walk this journey with me, just be there. Don't try to fix me.
Right.
Don't try to diagnose me. Most of the time, I already know what the issue is. I know what the problem is. I just need to know that somebody is there for me.
Right.
And so that's one of the things that I try to be, not only, to other people, but especially to other pastors, to let you know that somebody is there, that this is a safe space. We can talk about it and it ain't going nowhere. It's locked in right here. It's no judgment at all. Because, truth be told, sometimes some of us deal with the same thing. And to know that somebody is there going through it with you or has been through it, that's a calming thing. It helps bring you some peace.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'll be honest, man, it's hard to let people in who don't get the story, that don't get everything that comes with it.
Yeah.
That's definitely a lot.
Gotcha, man. Gotcha. Kind of lighten up a little bit. I said in the intro, man. That's good insight. Definitely, it's important. I mean, it's about what it's about is diving into not just the light moments, but there are some heavy moments that we deal with because we're people, right?
Certainly.
So I said in the intro, we know each other before the congregations that we serve. Back in college when we trying to make it. We struggling together. We trying to get it out the mud. You know what I'm saying?
Boy.
So good.
Back in Batman days.
Yes, sir.
Batman and
Batman.
Simba days.
Yeah, man. Batman and Simba. Even before Simba, when you had the red camera.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Man, remember that night my alarm went off? We couldn't get it to go off, man. My battery went dead behind that.
Yep.
Terrible.
Hey, what's going on, my friend and my brother? Listen, today is a very, very special day for a couple of reasons. And I just wanted to take a moment and, number one, wish you a very happy 35th birthday. Listen, to God be the glory for all of the great things that he has done with you and through you, and for allowing you to see another year of life today. Listen, I know we have been through a lot over the past couple of years, but I'm so thankful that God has allowed you to see this day. Also, I want to say congratulations on your 10th episode of this new ministry that you have started, the man behind the ministry. This is something that is so needed, and I thank God so much for laying it on your heart to show the other side of what ministry looks like. I am honored to be with you today to share in this 10th episode. I almost want to say 10th anniversary, but in this 10th episode, I'm thankful that you chose me to be your guest today. You know how much you mean to me. You know how much your family means to me. But brother, just know that I am so proud of you and everything that you are doing for God. and I'm thankful for everything that God is doing through you. Once again, happy 35th birthday, my brother, and happy 10th episode. I am so excited about your future and what God is going to do through you and in you in the days to come. All right, man. Be blessed today. We'll talk to you later.
Going back to our college days, man. As ministerial students, everyone, we as people, just in general, I don't care if you're a preacher or not. Just as people, we love to like categorize and label people. And so, you have your back in high school, you had your superlatives, like, the best this or the best of the most that. And we always say, yo, if anybody's gonna make it as a preacher, it's gonna be Andrew. It's gonna be Andrew. Andrew is a walking songbook. He knows every verse, the verses that you know, the verses that you skip. Andrew knows them. Like if you want
Yes,
to
sir,
know
Doc.
what's the lyric to a song, go get Andrew. But we just said, hey man, if wait till Andrew get a church, he gonna have the biggest anniversary, the greatest installation, all that. Just because, man,
Wow.
like just like an athlete, like you look at Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, the list goes on. Those people, you could tell they were created to play basketball.
Yeah.
And we always said with Andrew, Andrew was born to be somebody's pastor.
Wow. I definitely believed it.
And so, man, just looking at that and just how we joked and laugh about it. But, man, everyone has their call to ministry. So kind of tell us, what got you in the ministry? What let you know, okay, hey, this is God is sanctifying me for the ministry.
Dude, do we have time for this conversation? I mean, that's a loaded question. I mean, I've been doing this now, 24 years.
Yeah, you just celebrated your anniversary not too long ago.
Yeah, preaching 24 years, celebrated December 20th. I started December 20th, 1998. Been at the church 3 full years now. Now in year 4. But about the call to ministry, man, I preached a little while back. I talked about the day I almost gave up.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I referenced was in my bio, it says that I believe that I have a similar story to the prophet Jeremiah. I think we share a similar history. And with that similar history, when Jeremiah was a kid, the Lord put his words. Even the text says, Jeremiah 1, before I formed you in your mother's belly, I put my word in your mouth.
Right.
And as far back as memory will take me, I feel like preaching is what I was supposed to do. I mean, I used to preach to my stuffed animals, man. I mean, no, I'm preaching to the stuffed animals. I'm preaching to the neighborhood as people would drive by. I'm outside in a full suit, like in my karaoke machine, preaching. Yes, I mean, anybody that came to my house, you had to play church with me. We was gonna do other stuff, but like church was a part of it. You had to be there. And so, man, like I had mics. I had a system, Doc. I mean,
I'm sure.
I remember my dad, coming in, cut those mics down.
Other boys playing action figures and outside, he in there playing church.
Doc, I'm playing church, and I remember when the bass mic and all that stuff first started, I would play tapes and CDs that didn't have no bass, and I would be the bass. Oh man! But December 20th, 1998. Yes, sir, Doc. Doc, I was all of that. I was
man.
Not playing CLY. It's just another day.
Yes, sir.
And what's crazy, my uncle that died while I was in Tulsa, my Uncle Clarence, he had a CD that it was him singing lead and 2 girls singing background. There was a note missing. And so I would literally like play his CDs, but like he didn't sing to the way that, most of his songs weren't like, let me thump this thing. No, it was cool. Like Unc had a good voice.
Yeah.
But man, December 20th, 1998, Montgomery, Alabama, at the Madison Park Church of Christ, I preached my first sermon. It was called The One-Way Ticket to the Gate. Matthew chapter 7, verses 13 and 14. And I remember, like, my god brother Delmar had actually written out my outline for me. He had given me an outline for my first sermon. My mother actually helped me write my first sermon.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem was, she said 3 points are too long. They don't stay in church that long on Sunday night, so you don't need to preach all of this.
Right.
And so I ended up preaching 1 point of that. And my sermon was 8 minutes long. I was 8 years old. It was 1998.
My first sermon,
And my
eight,
sermon,
8 minutes long too.
yes, sir, Doc,
Wow.
eight
Crazy.
minutes long. Um, and at that church, that's actually as a kid where I got a lot of my experience. I was I started preaching there, and a guy named Norman Hurst.
Okay.
Ironically, Norman actually lives in Little Rock now. Well, he lives outside of Little Rock in Benton.
Yeah.
And I praise God that He gave me an opportunity to preach the word,
Yeah.
and would include me on different programs whenever they had stuff going on, giving me an opportunity to preach.
Yeah.
And so I started preaching I started traveling at 12.
Yeah.
I started, going here, going there, to little youth days here and there. I started running revival at 16.
Yeah.
16, I'll never forget it, Murfreesboro, Tennessee, Bradyville Road Church of Christ. The pastor at the time was Ernest Lemon. And the crazy thing, like, I ain't gonna tell that part of the story, but it was a challenge going there. Like, there were some things leading up to it, some family stuff. But I had a great time. But when I got to the end of the week and got my check, I was like, where's the rest of my money? Like, I got there Friday. I did a program on Saturday, preached all day Sunday, went Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night, I think, maybe even Thursday, I can't remember.
Yeah.
But Doc, it was a full revival.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I opened that check, and it was for, I think, $300. That's it.
Yeah.
Where's the rest of it?
Yeah, should there be another zero here or something? Like, what are we doing?
Something, Doc, something. But it was definitely a learning experience. It was a great experience, but a learning experience. And I'll be honest, I think when I started traveling, that's when I really started building those relationships.
Right.
And not just with pastors and preachers, but with lay people too. And there are people that still remember, like, when I was a kid preacher, and like, I still have a relationship with them.
Yeah.
Did revival at 16, and I started preaching nationally at 21. Like, I'll never forget, we were in Louisville, Kentucky, and I shared it when I was at National, because I preached before Washington.
Okay.
Billy Washington, in September of last year. When I preached in front of Billy, I actually said it was 10 years ago in Louisville that when we hosted the lectureship there, that I was asked to close out a session as a fill-in. I was 21, getting ready to be 22. And so, man, I was like, who, me?
Right.
Y'all want me?
Right.
And I remember Dave Penn said, hey, man, I need you to preach, and I need you to do well. And so what's crazy, Washington was the anchor every night.
Yeah.
And so now fast forward 10 years later, when I come back to the National, they put me on Wednesday night before Billy Washington.
Full circle.
And oh my goodness, man. And he even talked that night about how it was, right at 50 years ago that he was at a lectureship, and they put him up before R.N. Hogan.
Wow.
And Hogan, basically, after so many years of that being his spot, he basically laid hands on him to give him the Wednesday night spot, basically until today.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, man, I felt it was a very prophetic night that night. It was almost like the passing of a baton from one generation to the next. And I am humbled by that. Crazy thing, I started preaching nationally at 21. I went into full-time ministry at 25 in Memphis, Tennessee. serving 2 churches.
I remember.
I was the assistant pastor, you remember, for 2 churches, and I got fired at 26. Came back into full-time ministry at 27, and then started pastoring this church at 29.
Yeah.
It's definitely been a journey. I feel that God has called me to it, though. I'll be honest, there is nothing else that I can see myself doing.
Yeah.
You know, as far as a lifelong thing, I can see other things as far as working and all that stuff. But as far as something that I live for, I legit live for this ministry. I mean, I love it.
Yeah.
I love church. I love preaching. I love preachers. I love the art of preaching. And, you know, it's hard to explain. Well, how do you know this is what you're called to do? Well, I can do other things, but this is what I wake up thinking about. This is what I go to bed thinking about. This is what my life consists of.
Love it, man. Love it. One of the things that, besides what, you know, people hang on what we say, but people also hang on how we look and how we dress. And one thing I know about you, you're very meticulous. You're very detailed and precise with your style, man. Your aura, like I said, getting you in a hoodie, man. Hey, it's a lot. You know what I'm saying? So, like, again, if you just tuning in,
and look, it's a church hoodie.
Right. He still gotta have God somewhere on the hoodie. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir, Doc. Yes, sir, Doc.
So
it's a church hoodie. I'm preaching this. You want me to preach casually? I got you. I got you.
Say less. Say less.
Yeah. And what's crazy, I just ordered another one that's not a hoodie. It's not a hoodie. It's a crew neck, but it looks the exact same.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
So, people, man, they look at our suits, man, and man, you got a suit for every day of the week, suit for every day of the year, honestly. You know what I'm saying? So, from your perspective, man, what makes a suit good quality? I'm gonna go and let you have it. What makes a suit good quality? Take it away, brother.
Ooh, Doc. You know, I've been buying my own suits probably since I was like 12. I remember Dad would take me to the store, and he would make me look at suits, and he'd make me look at fabrics. And one of the things he would do is like take a fabric, and he would ball it up and let it go.
Yeah.
And we would watch the wrinkles either stay or fall out. And so that's one of the things that he would teach me, like, look at the fabrics, like look at the wool count. You know, certain wools are going to be heavier, which means they're going to be hotter. Some are going to be lighter, so you wear those in the summertime. But man, I would say now, after doing this for a little over 20 years now, definitely how it lays. You want it to contour to you. I've learned that every suit is not made for everybody.
Right.
And one of the things a lot of people don't know this, I've been particular about my clothes since I was a kid. When I was a kid, I would fuss like if my pants didn't lay right, because I've always been a bigger guy.
Yeah.
And so being a bigger guy, you got to make sure that everything, you know, it fits correct. You know, I got big legs, I'm knock-kneed. So, you know, I don't need my pants looking like a curtain in the middle. And, you know, I don't want my jacket being too tight. You know, I don't want the buttons popping, nothing like that. But definitely it needs to lay right. As I've gotten older, I don't necessarily want something too baggy, but I don't want something too tight either.
There you go.
So like when I walk, I need my pants to sway a certain way. You know, I'll do a more tapered jacket on the side, but I need preach room. You know, I'm a big boy, you know, but also not only should it lay right, but it ought to be a comfortable fit. It ought to be a comfortable fit and a comfortable feel. The material should be, you know, you shouldn't be sweating out everything.
Right.
You know, like certain fabrics will make you sweat more. And depending on the type of fabric, them twins, Polly and Esther, and they little brother Rayon.
Right. Yes, sir.
You know, man, I'm thinking about when I lived in Tulsa and we went to what's the name shop.
I was going to say, do you remember when you had a platform? That's my next question. Do you remember
Oh
when we
man.
went and he had you put them flat front pants. I still got the picture of it,
Oh,
man.
dang.
Boy, the pants are so
Man,
tight.
Doc, them pants was I ain't gonna say what they were tight. They was tight, Doc. They look like some leggings on me. That was not a god. That wasn't right, man. Them pants were so tight, my pockets were sticking out. But like that's not good, man.
Yeah.
But man, good fit, good fabric, good feel.
Mhm.
It needs to feel good to you. Man, truth be told, the better the quality, like it'll keep you cool.
Yeah.
It'll keep you cool at the right time, and it'll keep you warm at the right time too. Um, good fabric, good fit, good feel. I think those are make good quality, and it should fit you. It
Right.
should fit your style. Um, it definitely it should be it should fit you, and it can be fashionable.
Mhm.
You create the fashion that you want.
Yeah.
And that could be 2 button, 1 button, 3. You create your own style.
Mhm.
Something it doesn't necessarily have to be a fad to be fashionable.
Yeah.
You know, fads are gonna come and go,
Mhm.
and that's one thing. When I was working in men's clothing, my boss would tell me, "Man, you got to change when the styles change." I said, "No, stay classic.
Mhm.
It always stays in."
Yep. Yep.
And so, but
Love
yeah.
it. Love it, man. Um. When,
But more than a suit fanatic, I'm a tie fanatic.
yes, sir.
I
Yes,
got a
sir.
problem.
Me too. I got that bag of ties, man. Well, I finally got them organized because I had that express bag with all my ties in there.
Doc,
And-
you'll be happy, man. One of my members got me some tie clips too.
nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
with the letter B on them.
Of course. Of course.
Yes, sir, Doc.
Of course,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Of course. When you when you talk about just the medium, the platform that we're trying to create here, man. We mentioned earlier just about how ministers feel, the difficulty of you mentioned the late great brother Crenshaw, and just us as pastors allowing people to minister to us. That's sometimes one of the hardest. It's easy for us to minister to people, but sometimes it's extremely hard for us to allow others to minister to us. And some of that is a lack of trust. Or I say all the time, hey, everyone can't handle the real you. And that's not saying that um, we're being fraudulent, but it's like, hey, okay, I have to be careful what I reveal to you because you may not be able to handle all of me. So I have to give you what you're showing me you can handle. All that to say, it's very apparent that the relationship between minister, member, pastor, and people needs some work, man. Like I said, you've been in this ministry thing for a while, and so from your angle, from your paradigm, what's some advice you would give? Maybe there's there's a variety of people on, maybe some fellow ministers that we know, some who are older people that have mentored you, some that in our age bracket. There may be some church members on from around the country. There may be some people on that aren't really churchy at all. They're like, okay, I know Andrew, I know Ryan. I don't really go to church, but I like what's going on here. Kind of give us some insight and some knowledge on how we should better handle that disposition.
That's a great question, and I want to make sure I handle it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
You're my brother. You know all about me, the good, the bad,
Mm-hmm.
the ugly, the indifferent, and you'll remember what I went through in Memphis.
Yep.
And it wasn't at the hands of church members that everything happened, but it was at the hands of other ministers.
Yeah.
And I would say, in order for there to be better minister-member relationships, there first has to be better minister-minister, pastor-to-pastor relationships.
I agree.
You remember when Noah and his family came off the ark.
Mm-hmm.
He built an altar, and after they worshipped, things got wild,
Mm-hmm.
and Noah got drunk. one of Noah's sons laughed at his nakedness, and his other two sons loved him through his nakedness.
Yeah.
One son laughed at him in that vulnerable moment, and the other two loved him enough to cover him,
Yeah.
and not look on his nakedness. Man, I think I'm gonna take that on the road.
Yeah, me too.
Doc, we've got to stop laughing at one another's nakedness. Noah's two sons come and they walk in backwards, and they cover him so they don't have to look at his nakedness, at what would be called his shame.
Right.
They know he's naked. He's human. They've been told about it. The other son says, "Hey, let's laugh at daddy." The other one like, "No, we're gonna cover up daddy, because that's our leader." And I think in order for there first to be, better relationships, it has to be pastor to pastor. I've got to be willing to love you, even in spite of your nakedness, even in spite of your flaws, in spite of whatever it is, because I would want someone to love me through mine.
Right.
And that goes back to the genuine and authentic relationships. But also, when it comes to pastor and parishioner, like, how do I want to say this? There's a fine line between, like, the holy and the human. And you have to be able to respect my humanity while still knowing that I'm holy. And I think sometimes with members, man, they want one or the other. Like, they want a friend.
Yeah.
And it's okay to be friendly, but I'm cautious about being friends.
Right.
If you can't handle still the holiness that is around me. I remember I was at a member's house one day, and they made the statement, "Oh, he's just Andrew. He's not he's not pastor right now. He's just Andrew." And I told him, I said, "At no point do I stop being your pastor."
Yeah.
Like, that's a line that we can't cross. At no point do I stop being your pastor. I said, that's just like saying that once your child becomes of adult age, that you're no longer their parent.
Right.
Or they refer to you as, "Oh, that's just, by your first name." At no point do you stop being a parent to them. At no point do you stop getting that respect that you deserve because you are their parent. And at the same time, though we can enjoy one another and we can enjoy each other's company, at no point do I stop being your pastor. And I think when I know that you're not going to judge me because I've let my hair down. When I know that you're not going to look bad, look at me in a bad way because I've let my hair down, or you see my human side. I think that's what helps to cultivate a better relationship. When I know that even if we're common with one another, I can still correct you. That builds a better relationship.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've seen that hadn't happened. It's been, "How you gonna tell me not to do that? We was just, well, we had a moment, but that doesn't mean that we continue in that moment."
There you go.
Yeah.
I like that. Man, brother, you definitely said a mouthful, man. Definitely appreciate that. Just that. And that's why I try to get everyone's perspective, because everyone has a different perspective and paradigm with ministry based on their individuality, but also their experiences, man. And so we definitely appreciate you, brother. Brother, pastor, we appreciate you, brother, man. You blessed us, man, in a mighty, mighty way. Yeah. I
Thank
know.
you for having me.
Yeah, I know all those who've watched, even those live or also those in replay, man, are going to be blessed and benefited by this time that you and I have had tonight, man. Before we go, we know we're in a social world, man, where social media is king. Cats on YouTube like we are right now, man. Before we let you go, tell us, how can we find you in the church on social media?
Hey, you can follow me and follow the church. You can follow me, Andrew M. Braxter, on Facebook. You can follow the church, Rose City Community Church of Christ, on Facebook. I'm not on any other social media platforms right now, but I'm thinking about getting back on it later on this year. So we'll see. Right now, I've kind of taken a sabbatical from it, but I've kept Facebook because, but yeah, Andrew M. Braxter, and Rose City Community Church of Christ. But stay tuned. I got some big things in the work for this year. I'm working on some stuff, so I'll be back. I'll definitely be back.
Look forward to it, man. Look forward to it again. Not just Pastor, but bro, man, I appreciate you, man, for coming on and being a blessing to us, man. We know you busy because you know everybody.
Yes, sir. But it's few people that can get me.
Mm-hmm.
And you happen to be one of them.
Hey, I take it as an honor, man. Hey, yeah.
Sir.
That concludes this episode. Another dynamic
you,
episode, another dynamic guest, man. Again, if this has blessed you in any way, don't be afraid to like it. Don't be afraid to share it. Be a part of this ministry by blessing somebody else with this exchange that we've had tonight. Those of us who may be new, glad you're with us tonight. Come back and see us 7 p.m. Central Standard Time every Thursday. Until then, we'll see you. God bless you. God keep you. Peace. Yes, sir.
I love it.